Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Coach Lisa, and you're listening to the Unshakable Living Show, where we help you to be divinely and supernaturally unshakable. And I am beyond excited to invite Meg Zeek to be with me today. Meg and I have done a little bit of work together here recently, and she is astounding and brilliant. So, Meg, I cannot introduce you as well as you can introduce yourself. So, please tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. I'm super excited to be here with you. I mean, I know we're going to talk about it later, but um, Unshakable and Unbroken, they just go so well
They
hand in
go
hand. So
together, yes.
yeah, they go so well. So
And yeah,
hello, everyone. I'm
I
Meg.
read something today. I read something today that used the word unshackled. And so
Ooh,
I was thinking unbroken and unshakable result in unshackled.
Unshackled.
I
Ooh,
like it.
that's like
So
a fun word to play with.
isn't it? Yes, please keep going.
Nope. Anyways, just yeah, I'm Meg, and Lisa and I just finished up working in one of my human design specific containers. But I do a lot of things. So I'm an agency owner. I help business leaders really hold everything without dropping it. It's a lot of expansion and also offloading. So we have a full suite of services and products available to business leaders,
Hmm.
industry leaders
Yeah.
who are ready to like focus on their lane, right? So that's one of my many things, right? And then inside of that, that's where I actually do my business coaching, which is a lot focused
Uh-huh.
on messaging, marketing, and sales. And that's kind of where Lisa and I met because I have an affinity for projectors. So if you know anything about human design, and you might quite possibly be a projector yourself if you're listening to Lisa. So Lisa and
Yep,
I are both
it's quite
projectors.
possible. Yes, we are.
We tend to attract each other.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
human design was really special to me. It helped me so much in my healing journey. And then I started to see all of the ways that I was incorporating it with my healing clients and in their businesses and then in my workplace. And I just said, there's a spot for this to really help mission-led entrepreneurs, mission-led business owners. I mean, the mission
Hmm.
part is huge to me,
Yeah.
to help them really craft and create a marketing system that works for them, right? Um,
It's a
Rather than
beautiful thing.
listening.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's so much mainstream, like very masculine ways of doing business out there. And that can be great. But for most of us, it's just not very sustainable. And so I wanted to really help others who were in my shoes on a big mission to create their marketing strategy that actually is sustainable for them. So that's a little
Yeah.
bit about me.
Yeah, no, that's really great, Meg, really great. And so I'm going to guess that some of our listeners are not even aware of what human design is. Can you take just a few minutes and just even talk to us about what human design is and why would I care?
Yeah, and I love that because human design, and you actually were such a confirmation for me on this. We can talk about that too. But human design is kind of viewed as this new age modality, when
Mm-hmm.
in reality, all that it does is it takes the ancient wisdoms of the Kabbalah, the Hindu chakra system, astrology, quantum physics, and it just places it all in this beautifully packaged, really hard to understand
Yes.
body graph. And it shows you exactly how your energy actually wants to behave.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so for me, kind of like I was saying, learning that I'm this being that isn't meant to do and work, that was confirmational for me. I said, oh, I
Yeah,
finally feel
very
seen.
freeing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and there's so many other pieces to it, but it's really about really taking all of these ancient wisdoms and pulling them into one area that you can start to make sense and connect all the pieces with.
Yeah. And I'm going to say for our listeners who come from more of a biblical or scriptural background, it aligns with that as well, because it really shows how you are divinely designed. And that is a lot of my platform. That is a lot of my message is that we are divinely designed. We are born with characteristics that God intentionally placed within us. And it's when we are moving in our blueprint, in our design, that we function the best and we have that joy and life satisfaction. And I
Yeah.
will say, human design, of all of the personality tests I've ever done, and I've done just about everyone that's out there, human design brought more insight to me into how I am wired than almost anything else I've ever done. And, again, as I already told you, what I learned through our work together was the freedom and permission, let alone the understanding of why so much of the traditional marketing wisdom really grated against my sense of authenticity and integrity. I mean, I could not be in my full integrity and do those other marketing modalities. And
Yeah.
so, through Projector Rising, through the human design work that we've done, I have a new freedom, a new level of integrity, and a new ability to go do my Facebook Lives and go do my marketing and feel good about it. And know that if I don't feel good, that there's a reason and that I'm getting out of my vertical alignment, which again, for me, I talk a lot about vertical alignment. So, like I said, it has just been huge and eye-opening for me.
Ah, I love it. I love it. And yeah, there's just so much like crossover with what we talk about too. I'm just going to add in here really quickly, like, a quick recap of like my past 30 years,
Yeah.
growing up
Mhm.
as a pastor's kid and then,
Yep.
finding human design. And I was like, well, does God approve of this? Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
is this
Yeah.
okay? And I gave myself the story of, yeah, we are all uniquely created and like God has this like supernatural plan for each of us that we can't
Yes.
follow other people's footsteps. This is like
Yes.
our uniqueness. And so this is like very God given. And
Mhm.
then to have you come in and like confirm that was really just um uh it gave me a new element of peace with it. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I know one of the things I wanted to kind of talk about today is I am on my journey to understand more about myself as a healer. So I've known literally since I was probably 12 or 13 that I have a gift of healing. I've never known how to use that or how God wanted to move through that. And so I'm, through Splunkna, which I'm not going to go into much about that today, but through Splunkna, I have found the how to use my healing gift. Because I believe it is truly, again, it is part of my blueprint, part of my design is to be a healer. But as a healer, as an empath, as a follower of Christ, I want to fix people. I want to help them become who they're supposed to be. That's my whole Become program. But I also struggle with wanting to just give it away. And it's not sustainable as a business if I give it all away. And so, again, you and I talked about the fact that a lot of healers really struggle with charging for our services. Talk to me about what you've learned and observed, and even your personal experience in this arena.
Oh yeah. And like typically there is so much there's typically so much trauma, a lot of times generational, that affects healers. So I could go into like the whole history of it, but I'll give like a quick snippet of
Okay.
essentially that, you know, in back in the day, like healers were like these almost not gods, of course, but they were
Mhm.
just very favored in their communities. And then we had this turning of things, right? And women
Mhm.
were looked at as witches when they
Uh-huh. Yeah,
turn of
exactly.
events, when they did the same
Absolutely.
thing, right? And so now it became, if you have a gift to heal, if you have this ability to like take a plant and make medicine out of it, then
Mhm.
this is not okay. Hide it. Hide, 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 hide. And so this became like a very generational message that was passed down, and it's even in our DNA.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's in our
is.
DNA.
Yep.
So um like again, it just became hard to a share it, and then b to want to charge for it, because if you really are a healer, you want everyone to have it. One of
Yeah.
my like very, very close business friends, I mean, she's a millionaire, but she's like, can't I can't feel good about healing people for this much anymore if I don't have something that like the common, you know, the common folk can have.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I was like, you're right. You can't, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
the broad range.
Yeah.
But she went about it the right way, because
Mhm.
her whole plan, and this is what I share with others, is if you want to be able to create something that can be for the masses, then you have to go where the funds are,
Mm.
right? Because we can't reach the masses, and if that's part of your goal, we can't reach the masses if we're just making like pennies at a time, right?
Correct. Correct.
Um and so it's saying, okay, I'm going to charge this, this much, and I'm going to find the people. Those people are going to come to me
Mhm.
so that I can continue doing my work.
Yep.
And I speak like really kind of passionately about this, because growing up as a pastor's kid, we didn't ever have money.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love my parents to death, but they weren't able to reach a lot of the people that they wanted to.
Yep.
Everyone who they have reached is like,
Mhm.
oh, so amazing, right?
Yes. Yes.
But they never got to that vision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they didn't have the up here piece of it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so neither way is like right or wrong in my
Correct.
eyes, right?
It's true. It's true. Yes.
But the thing that we do is that we, as business owners, we tend to price from our trauma.
Mm.
And so if we believe, or if like it's been passed down to us that we shouldn't be charging for things, then we don't.
Yeah.
And then what are we doing? So there's so many different layers to this, but what are we doing? We're leaking our trauma onto the people we're trying to heal, right?
Yes.
So there's so many different layers to this. And I forget where your question actually started.
That's okay. Just around the healers have such a hard time charging for our services. And again, there's a mindset there. And it is it's exactly what you're talking about. It's like if I want to be able to reach a lot of people, I can't charge $10 a session, or I just get restricted on what I can do and where I can go.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, and some of it too goes back to valuing yourself, and again, I've been 5 years on this personal growth journey, really heavy duty. God's had me in the fast lane for the last 5 years. And I've come so far around money blocks and just accepting myself as being worthy and allowing my spiritual gifts to be used and to flow. And so, the next, no, it's not even the next hurdle. The next flow that I'm learning is the abundance. It is the treasuring what God has given me and being able to use it to make a living so that I can free and heal even more people.
Yeah. Yes. And like, too, I just want to say, because I know your listeners are probably different than like what my listeners would be, is that again, there's no right or wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
your mission might be to lead your family, and like that's the stake that you're leaving
It
in the
is.
ground, right? And so
Absolutely.
you may not need to like charge these higher amounts, and like it's okay, right? But then there's also the listeners who are on a really spirit-led mission that is for the
Mm-hmm.
masses.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is, you know, something to start healing within yourself. I mean, there's a lot of different
Yep.
layers to it, but
Yeah.
just adding that caveat that this doesn't always apply to every single healer either,
Yeah.
right?
So Meg, if as people are listening today, if they wanted to learn more about Unbroken or they want to learn more about human design, what's the best way for people to reach you or to find you and learn more?
Well, I am all about relationship building. I love meeting new people. So usually I would say either my email, so meg@unbrokenhealers.org, simply just send me a question, a message,
Hmm.
hey, what's up? Um, and I'll reply. I
Yeah.
always reply.
Hmm.
Or my Instagram, which is @yourbizhealer. So I like to actually talk to you and understand, you know, is there a way that I can support you? Or, do I know somebody who can come
Hmm.
in and support you?
Hmm.
Um, and then on this topic too of like the pricing and sales and like all this mindset that goes into it, I do have a money mindset workbook. It's free. Money mindset workbook by Human Design. Um,
Hmm.
that I can share that link with Lisa so that she can share it with all of
Okay.
you as
Oh,
well.
that's great. Yeah. Yeah. We'll post that link in the description of the episode today, so everybody can get that if they're interested.
And that's for everyone, not just
Yeah.
entrepreneurs either. So,
Yep. Okay. Well, great, great. And so I'd like to shift gears just a little bit. Talk to us about your mission because I know you are your ideal client. You are a mission-led entrepreneur. So talk to me and our listeners today a little bit about your vision and your mission.
ooh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it all kind of started on my own personal growth journey. I've always known, like, you have this knowing, right? So I've always known that there was something big that I was meant to do. At first, I thought that it was around kids, right?
Hmm.
Then I thought it was
Sure.
around parents. And it just like kept flowing into me, right? But I've
Hmm.
been an entrepreneur since I was like 8 years old.
Yes. Yes.
And so as I got really like so much more awakened spiritually, and I could like actually hear God's voice,
Hmm.
it was so clear that I needed to like just wipe the slate clean and say, hey, just show me,
Hmm.
show me what you want me to create. And what was painted in front of me was huge, massive. You know, you definitely need to be a millionaire to get this done, Meg.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
like essentially the message that it was, because it's massive and it is local. Like the mission is local, and it's now going global because of.
Okay.
So I'll talk a little bit about that. But at
Yeah.
the time when I got this vision, this download that I knew for certain was not at all mine,
Yes.
was also the time, just a couple months post divorce and
Mhm.
essentially homeless. We were kind of couch surfing with my kiddos, and I was paying the bills at his house. The great stuff. But I'm like,
Yes.
I don't have God, like God, I don't have money. What am I supposed to do?
Mhm.
And he said, just trust me. Just follow your heart, as it comes,
Yes.
and just allow it to start flowing. Um, and what was happened is like each of these different pieces of the vision that I'd seen
Mhm.
started coming to me as clients.
Ah, very good.
So I said, ooh, like maybe it wasn't just local, right? And to be like really clear, the vision was having coaches, guides, healers, therapists, everybody all in one place where people
Mhm.
could get what, like, basically get what they need. They come in, there's like a community center, there's big, beautiful gym for them to go get their health and fitness needs taken care of. And then they go, get their Reiki done, or then they,
Yes.
and like a beautiful center for the kids to be educated, have fun,
Mhm.
be safe, right?
And just to be clear, you're talking a physical building.
That's what was painted for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was huge, massive, like
Mhm.
football stadium
Mhm.
was in the
Yep.
backyard.
Yeah.
But then there was also a whole neighborhood community around.
Uh-huh.
So it was this community
Yep.
in the center, right? And they were like, a lot of them were Ted Mason homes
Mhm.
that single moms and war veterans and starting over people were coming
Yes.
out of, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so as I'm, building my coaching business, then I've found all of these people that are on the same track, but they cover, a certain area of
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
Um, there's the personal trainers that have the same mission. There's the lawyers that have the same mission. And so all these
Yes.
people keep coming into my world, and it's like,
Mhm.
okay, think bigger. This can
Mhm.
be global, and we can continue to give and receive to actually have the funds to build this huge dream. And I tell everybody, I say, you know, even if I'm 95 when this whole thing gets built, like it's gonna be there someday.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
um,
exactly.
but it was just really beautiful how other people came in that said
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that's my part. Oh, that's my part." Um,
Mhm.
they were just placed in, and something that kind of goes back to human design is that I call, and I think if you remember me ever saying this, I call projectors
Mhm.
midwives to the universe.
Mhm.
Like we kind of hold this space for for God to like come in and say, "Hey,
Yep.
do your thing, you people," and like the projectors are going to hold you and help you get there. So it's like mind
Yeah.
blowing in all these different ways.
Well,
The overall mission being
and
helping people start
yeah.
over.
And I think you and I have talked about this, but the whole birthing thing is so representative of my entire life. I mean, it's just, again, no surprise. I am a projector. And again, that's where so much of what I learned through your program was so validating. It explained some things that I had observed and lived and witnessed, but didn't either have words to describe or really going, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's like I resemble that remark.
You're like, yep, I got it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's really good. Really good. Really good.
Thank you for letting
So
me share that too.
yeah, yeah, no, that's really awesome. So where in building the vision are you? So again, this could be 5 years, 20 years, 100 years. Where do you perceive you are on the journey?
mm, probably at level 5.
Okay. 5 out of how many?
At least 20.
Okay. Okay, no, that's actually quite a ways in. That's really excellent. Really
It,
excellent.
I'm happy with it because I've only been on this journey actually doing the do, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, for really less than a year.
Mhm. Nope,
And
that's really
so,
good.
I had the
Really
vision and then I
good.
didn't know quite what to do with it. So there was some lag
Mhm.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I relate to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so right now in that space of I have the people and that's going to continue to grow.
Mhm.
And we're each doing our own part. And we're also creating that income. right?
Yeah.
To
Mm-hmm.
fund the mission. And
Mm-hmm.
now that it's kind of all over the world, I'm like, all right, well, this is maybe morphing a little bit, and that's okay.
Yep. Yep. Well, and again, as you and I have talked, I'm also being called to build a global model. So talk to me just a little bit and to our listeners about the global piece of this. Is that like one person in a couple of different countries, and those are part of your coaching cooperative? And that's what you call Unbroken Healers, correct?
Yes, that's Unbroken
Okay.
Healers.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so one of the and I have always had this, maybe it was a theory, but it
Mm-hmm.
just was a feeling that God drops ideas into multiple people's heads
Yep. Right
at the
there with
same
you.
time.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Totally agree.
And whoever goes first, like that's the
Mhm.
person that did it, right? and
Yep.
so I started just having conversations about my mission
Mhm.
and other women's missions and seeing how similar they were, like you and
Yeah.
I, right?
Yes. Yes.
So there's one woman in Canada who I've partnered with. She has her
Mhm.
own agency, right? And I have my agency, and we're bringing
Yep.
them together to serve more
Mhm.
people.
That's
Um,
fabulous.
yeah, yeah. One woman in Spain with the same mission, and she's the lawyer, so she has all the legal aspects of
Mhm.
how
Mhm.
your business needs to be set up to protect you, right? And so we
Yep.
have like this very full service agency of conscious creators, but also with different skill sets so we can
Yep.
plug and play. Um,
Mhm.
and so I feel like it's the feminine, it's like the warm hug
Yes.
area right now of like we're all doing this together and planting our seeds differently as we go.
Yeah. No, that's really good. And again, you and I have talked a little bit about the mission and the vision that God has given to me, and I'm just in the inception of that. And mine also is going to be a global model, and I'm just opening up to who are all those other people, who are the contacts, and those kinds of things. So it's just exciting is does not even come close to scratching the surface of how amazing this is, you know.
It's almost like it's really a business, it's a movement.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And
And yep.
the business the business funds the movement.
It does. It does. Absolutely. And several years ago, I can't even tell you how many years ago, God told me that I was going to start a kindness movement.
Mm.
And then more recently, he said it's also going to be a global prayer movement. And it's
Ooh.
going to be built on business. There'll be a business aspect of it, but the foundation, again, that underlying foundation of it will be built on prayer
I love
globally.
Ooh,
So,
that gives me
yeah.
tingles.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. It's super exciting. And so again, as people have been listening, if they're going, I think I'm supposed to be part of what Meg's doing, tell them one more time how to reach out to you.
Yeah, so you can email me at meg@unbrokenhealers.org.
And it's
Um,
healers, right? There's an S on the end.
an S on the
Unbroken
end.
Healers, yep,
Yep.
.org.
Or on Instagram at your biz healer, BIZ.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. And again, we'll have those in the episode description so people can make sure that they're getting them accurately and correctly. So, any final words of wisdom you feel prompted to share today?
Mm. I mean, I love that we got to talk about just the idea that if you are a mission led, God driven, you're almost like you're not in the driver's seat. You're just the only person in the car that people can see.
I
If
like
that's
that
you,
description.
yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
If that's you and you're struggling with creating income for yourself, and I want to say like this isn't just me, like this is a message. I this is a message being delivered through me. Is that, I mean, God wants you to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself.
Mhm.
You have to prioritize yourself and your family so that you can continue, on this path, whatever that path looks like for you.
Mhm.
So really, whatever that means to you, ask yourself, what can you prioritize? Like, what can you commit to when it comes to self-care? Maybe it's just 10 to 15 minutes a day. What's one thing you can commit to? And then what's
Mhm.
one thing that you can commit to growing whatever that mission is? Again, we all have different missions. So, what can you commit to every day that will
Yeah.
help you to grow that? It's growing the muscle of you too, right?
It is. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good. Well, again, Meg, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been just really, really great. And I do anticipate that you and I will continue to be doing some business together. I think there are enough similarities in our calling, and certainly our hearts and our style. So I see a lot of future crossover here.
Oh yeah.
So thank you so much again, and have a great afternoon. And hopefully, if anybody reaches out to me, I will pass them along to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thank you, Meg.